Good evening, folks. Big up, big up. We got 3 points. We are top of our bracket. We've won 3-2 in true Spurs fashion. We can never do it easy. Um, yeah, it's uh but a lot of things to say, and yeah, instant call it instant reaction um that we are doing. And Eugene, brother, how are you doing? um oh, are you on mute? I can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Doing fine, doing fine. Just had some time in between jobs at the moment, so had a few days off. So took the opportunity to do a watch along for the Spurs game. It was exciting for the first. It was exciting until it was 3-1, right? So and then when it went down to 10 men, I thought we were in control of the game, but somehow or another they came back at us, slowly crept in, and Conte started to make changes. And I was doing my watch along with two Arsenal fans and Chelsea Chelsea fans. So they were saying like, what was Conte doing? Why is he parking the bus when they're down to 10 men? So it is what it is. And I was telling them we need one more goal because as the game went on, I was really really worried with them having 10 men and looking that they're going to score another one, which in the end they really did score another one. And Harry Kane didn't score his penalty. So, I mean, he brought in Brian Hill, he brought in Skippy, he brought in Kusuma, he brought in Lucas Moura. And I guess, imagine, we're in the Champions League, guys, and that's the depth of the squad. I don't know what to say, but we've got the 3 points. And the results were good to us today. We are top of our group because Marseille beat Sporting Lisbon. So we better beat Sporting Lisbon at home next week. If we don't, that is going to be something really, really painful. Something it's going to be really, really painful because if we don't beat Sporting Lisbon, that will open the door to Sporting, right? And we will have to get a result from Marseille, and that could turn out quite painful. So if we beat Sporting, that will more or less secure our position of qualifying for the group, and we don't have to worry too much of Marseille. So let's hope that works out. But at the moment, what I see is that remember the great transfer window that we had. It's so great now. So great.
Another 10. Yeah. Yeah. It's just instant reaction. Um, the first 15 minutes, sloppy as usual. Always takes a while for us to get going. And of course, Eric Dyer. I, you know, uh, the trap that we get into is, Eric Dyer. And before I go into that, I want to just big up. We got big call in the house. He says big up Mario Eugene, and of course we got
Big
up in the house. Sonny is always my father. Yep. Probably man of the match. I was gonna get to that question. Yep, he is the man of the match. So going back to Eric Dyer, the tough thing is we're getting trapped because we say um, we say Eric Dyer has improved, right? And I want to say that we've seen his ceiling, right? His ceiling is at best he is a reserve. You have people who are swearing that him and Davies were like they could walk into Chelsea's 11, they could walk in City's 11, they could walk in Liverpool's 11, they could walk.
no,
No, that is not the case. And so of course, Shane Beats in the house. Of course, I think we failed our objective of getting a center back during the transfer window. I know we got Langley, but he's play on the left. He's not a true center. center back. So Eric Dyer making that mistake for that Kamada goal was simply unexcusable, horrible. A Champions League club cannot have, and I'm agree with Alex, cannot have a guy like Eric Dyer starting in the center back. It should not. It should not be the case. But the thing is, it is the case.
We've been
He's
tired 2 years now, right? He is not a quality center back. He will never be a quality center back, right? He has improved a bit under Conte, a bit. That's all, and he will not be the quality that we need, right? So that's why I keep saying, what kind of the transfer window did we have? We didn't bring in the players that Conte want. It's so simple as that, right? And we're playing in the Champions League, and it's turning to be an embarrassment, right? So let's hope we get out of this group stages, right? And when January transfer window comes, let's hope our greatest, best businessman chairman, right, actually spend some money and get quality in. That's what we are hoping for, right? And I can tell you, it's very simple now. Conte is frustrated because when he looks at the bench, right, who can he bring on? I mean, even if we have parked the bus with 10 men, right, we shouldn't have conceded that second goal by Frankfurt. Simple as that. But the problem is that we don't have the quality. And the players were switching off again, right? Emerson was giving the ball away with 10 men in our own half. He's switching off again. Why is he still there? And I was thinking maybe somewhere along the way, instead of changing Skippy and Bissouma, he could have thrown on Bissouma, taken off Richarlison, and put on Doherty and taken off Emerson. But he didn't, and it is what it is, right? In the end of the day, our squad depth is shit. That's it.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And, and Eric Dyer has to start because Sanchez, for that second goal, was on the field. If we took out Sanchez, I mean, Tanganga doesn't really play in the center, and Odin's on loan. So it's really the depth that we supposedly got is not there. So, all right, Eric Dyer's mistake, right? And so here comes the positive, right? Kane and Son connect on goals. It was great to see Kane connecting with Son. Beautiful goal by Sonny. We know what he can do. Now he is really, he's hitting his form. He is hitting his form. And so
The game I noticed is very simple. In the first, I think, 15, 20 minutes, right, Sonny was playing deeper and Richarlison was playing further up. So Sonny was doing a lot of defending. So there wasn't any out ball, right, which Sonny did. So when they switched roles, Richarlison dropped back, Sonny went further up. That's when Kane could connect with Sonny. You know what I'm saying? If Sonny is back deep, how is Kane supposed to connect with Sonny when Sonny's not around to connect with? See? So I guess Sonny took his goals brilliantly, honestly. The goals were done, they were brilliant goals. The volley that came from the cross from Højbjerg, right? That wasn't an easy goal to take. And that shot actually shows that is a world class shot. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And like I said, I know some people they're very hard on Hoiberg. Like I said, I've never been a huge Hoiberg fan, but I have to give kudos. For the first quarter of the season, I said our player so far, our best player, consistent, has been Hoiberg. And the goals to assist ratio, contributions, you cannot lie, But Shane B says I missed the second half. Yeah, I fell asleep. Yeah, I know. You thought we'd see more goals. Hoiberg, the goals to assist, contributions. You can't lie. You cannot lie. And then he has been solid. He's not spectacular, and he's not dog shit. He's effective. He is he's good, and he's been one of our best players. And so, it was a beautiful pass to Sonny, and Sonny just drilled it. World class. Kane, beautiful. I mean, he had assists, and then Kane with a beautiful run, and he drew that penalty, and he killed the penalty. We'll talk about the one he missed in the second half. But with Charleston, his touch is horrible. There was one counter break where I'm just like, he should have had that. There was space between him and the defender. It was a great chance. And with Charleston, like, I don't know, man. His touch has been horrible these last couple of games. And
Mm.
so, I mean,
I
Kulu
think
may be
you know
back for the Everton game, and I'm happy. I know people saying he's playing out of position, but still, that doesn't explain the touch. Eugene, are you seeing the same thing?
yeah, sometimes when he's talking about touches, maybe the pass coming here is tad too heavy and he doesn't judge it properly. Because I'm not only saying the touch is being bad from Richarlison, I'm saying the touches are coming out from Sonny is bad, the Kane is bad. So maybe the people who's passing the balls to them are, how would you say, you know, kicking it too hard to them or whatever. But at the moment now, uh, Hulu is a very important part of our team, right, our squad. At the moment now, we've lost our creativity, right? If Charleston doesn't provide that right, because it's not basically it's not right, right. And of course, Tony is left origin. I mean, he's our left side. So there's an overlap there. There's you know a positional problem there. So hopefully, Kulu comes back. We will look a bit nicer, a bit better. But not to forget that Conte is not going to risk Kulu, right? Even if he needs another 5 more percent, right? Even if like another 5 more percent to reach the full fitness and all that, Conte says he's not going to risk him. So let's hope he reaches that last 5% to be able to come back for the Everton game at home. But at the moment, as I see it, the game that we had today, Frankfurt not that impressed. Frankfurt, right? But after being 10 men down, at least they had the heart to push for it. And somehow or another, we didn't take advantage of it, right? So, tactical wise, there's still to be a lot of be questioned for Conte, or maybe it's just that he doesn't have the players that he actually needs on the bench to do what he needs to do. So it's like saying he's not having the tools. So that's how I see it. But at the moment, we are top of the group. That more or less makes a lot of Spurs fans happy, right? Because the next game that's coming up in Champions League, I guess it will be against Sporting at home, and Sporting playing, yeah, but Sporting playing away at the moment now, I don't think they have form, right? Because they were beaten they were beaten away at home. They were beaten at home, but I say, and they were beaten, say again, away. So maybe they'll come to Spurs and we'll hopefully nick a win there to secure. Right. And as for the Everton game, I won't look too far yet because we do not know what's the assessment to the injuries or the fatigue and whatever goes on. We will have to see most probably on Friday or or so to see what Conte says and what we have, because I think Dyer was taken off because of the tactic. Maybe he's got something niggling, I'm not sure. But like you said, if we take Dyer off, right, who are we going to play at the center back for the Everton game? That's my question. Can Langley step in, or we have to use Romero in the center back position? I think he can do that job. But then you will have the question of will Sanchez be there, or will Sanchez be on the right? But of course, on the left side, and surprisingly, right, Langley played the whole game. Langley played the whole game, right? And maybe that's getting more game time for him. Get used to the Conte's tactics and the fitness levels that needed for the company. But at the moment, as I see this game, I was doing the watch along, and I was going when they went down to 10 men, right? And I was watching it along. We were in control for a period of time. Then when we started
Well,
to lose,
Eugene, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Um, did Frankfurt get away with not getting a second red card? I mean, it's still no excuse for a goal, you
yeah,
know, down 10
the,
men. But
the
Frankfurt
second
should have been down to 9 men. Did they
they
get
should
away?
have. They, I guess maybe the referee was a bit sympathetic, right? He couldn't send two Frankfurt players off at the same time, right? Because I think Hasebi got his red card earlier. Sorry, yellow card earlier, and Tuta got his yellow card quite
He hit
recently. So
Kane, he hit
yeah,
Sonny at the same time. And Sonny said, I
both
mean,
of them were wrestling down Kame at the same time, right? So Tuta and Hasebi ganged up on him, and then of course the same thing. I mean on the Sony thing. So I guess there was a possibility for double reds for Frankfurt, but the decision was made, so we had to live with it. And to tell the truth, we won. Most important thing is that we won, right? And we're top of the group, and that's how I see it. Right? But my my take on the whole game overall is that how could we let 10 men score?
yeah, that's what is so discouraging because, all right, it's 3-1. We are, excuse me, we're down, no, they're down 10 to 10 men. We're like, okay, this should be comfortable, right? Every win. I mean, I like the easy games, and with one nothing the last game, the other game we drew, and so it's never it's never easy for us, right? So I'm like 3-1, right? They're down 2 men, but still down a man, and we don't score another goal. So we get to the second half, right? We get to late. This is where Kane was great. I thought in the first half, down 10 men once Sonny got out. Um, and then, of course, we could see that goal 3-2. This is where the nervousness comes in. This is where the frustration comes in. That, all right, Brian Hill, he fell over himself, but then got back up and was able to steal the ball and drew a penalty. Kane skies the penalty. We know Kane's world class when it comes to penalties in regards to, international play to Premier League, but he's missed two the last two, yeah, within the last 2 weeks, and so it's like, hey, he's made one, in the Arsenal game, but he's missed it. But then I thought he had a horrible pass to Brian Hill. Brian Hill was calling for it early, and Brian Hill does his best Sky Air attempt, and I'm just like,
He
oh,
should have
okay.
known that that ball that came in should have been on the ground, not in the air. Brian Hill ain't the tallest guy.
I mean, Brian Hill
uh,
doesn't look like he is the man in the air, and I don't know. I just think King should have done better with that pass. So he's had a
Brian,
horrible last 10
was,
minutes. In the scope of the game, he's gonna still get maybe like a 7 for me or 7.5 or something because he gave us the lead. He drew a penalty. He had the assist to Sonny. But the last 10 minutes, oh, it was not good. And
I understand. Maybe a bit of fatigue has come in. That's why you make the decision. Right? So that's how I see it. So, in the end of the day, it is what it is. Uh, the nervy last 10 minutes or so, 2 minutes, or even during the last 5 minutes in injury time, added on time added on. You could see it, right? We I don't understand that. In the end of the day, it's just what we have to blame is that we all the players, right? The players have been thrown on. Lucas Moura, yeah, just been thrown on for the last 10 minutes. So, right, so that's for him to get some game time, get warmed up, something like that, right? Brian Hill came on. He did a few runs down, but still bouncing off players like not strong enough to beat that, right? And going down from the trip by the turning the penalty, that's kudos to him, right? Because he did turn the defender left, right, in and out for that reason, right? So that's showing his defense and how we can use him in that kind of scenario, right? And what else can I say? Skippy coming on and for Puma coming on, right? That is like saying that we're parking the bus, you can say, right? But yeah, then you turn around and says that what do we have, right? Until that second goal going in, Conte had no choice but to bring on Mora and bring on fresh legs to run the ball down, right? If he doesn't do that, what are the choices? We don't have any other choice, right? So, like, who else do we brought on? And of course, we all were shouting for Spence, for Emerson, or Doherty for Emerson, but it didn't happen, right? And I still don't understand what's the love. Why does Conte has this love for Emerson, right? Or maybe just why Conte is just being stubborn, right? And just to spike the fans and say that.
Yeah, because I mean, I honestly thought Daugherty actually was decent. He was good. The last game against gosh, I'm forgetting against this
Right.
past Saturday. Yeah, I thought it was decent.
Yeah.
The thing with Emerson is he gets the ball in excellent positions, and at the beginning I'm just like, okay, Emerson, this is now it's bad. It's really really bad when Emerson is in a position, and I expect it's going to happen. I say this when Emerson gets the ball, this is where your dreams die, right? This is where the counter dies. Whenever Emerson gets the ball, you just know that counter, the chance to score is going to die. Dreams will die, right? The same can be said for Session, but much more with Emerson. And so, I mean, but if Conte doesn't really rate Daugherty, he's not going to play Spencer, except for the Carabao Cup, you know. Um, and so it goes back. It goes back to, you know, and people will say this, right? All right, what are these guys complaining about? We got the 3 points, and I'm not complaining, but in reality, I'm just drawing out that victory. It's a bit discouraging because all right, you're down, they're down a man, you know, like we couldn't like close this game without being nervous, biting our nails. Like literally, I'm thinking they're gonna equalize. They're gonna equalize. They're gonna equalize. And luckily they did it, but it's just like I put here. Why our wins are never not easy? And there's many reasons. We don't have a bench, you know, um, quality of bench. So it's just really discouraging. Yes, we're top of the group. Sporting at home, you know, I we can afford to say, all right, we're gonna get those 3 points there. We just gotta see how the game goes and play the game. I that's how I feel about the game. I really pretty much every Spurs game. I said this in the channels, Eugene. We take it a game at a game at a time, and this is how I'm gonna view this season. Take a game at a time, and no game is a gimme when it comes to Spurs because it's never easy. Got a couple more people in the house. Mark Cousins in the house. He's a big up Mari Eugene nervy last 10 minutes. Should have been outside. Yeah, that's how I feel. I just feel like and a couple more people are here. So I'm posting the link. I'm gonna go another 30 more minutes. I want to get people's opinions. Steak, Alex is in the house. Alexander, Bryce is also in the house. So Eugene, your audio is terrible. It's hard to hear properly. Yeah,
You know?
I was
enough?
focusing.
I'm not sure. My mic, maybe the volume is a bit down. But guys, in the chats, right? Yep. Anybody hopping on to join? Yep. Shane, good to see you, brother.
Yeah,
Yep. Shane,
you,
yeah.
Murray.
Scott says the game was immense today. Yeah, until those last 15 minutes. Whew, yeah.
But
Uh,
Mari, Shane, I've got to make a move now, right? It's about 5 8.
all right.
It's going to be my time here now in Malaysia, right? I've been doing a watch along, so I haven't had sleep yet. So, guys, thanks for having me on. Guys in the chat, right? Hop on and join Mari, right? The links in the chat, right? Shane, catch up with you later, brother.
Yep,
Right.
super.
Mari, thanks for having me on. Bye bye. Good night. Good morning. Bye.
All right.
That was two.
And there was two. And like I said, I posted the link. Have your say. I'm gonna go on another 30 minutes. Have your say on this game. I've read some of your quotes. Want to hear your opinions of the game. I thought, yes, we won. We got the 3 points, but I'm a bit frustrated. You know, most of the time you win, you're happy, but I'm a bit frustrated because they were down a men. Should have been down two more men. We can never close the game out and make it like easy. It's always nervous. You always gotta bite your nails as a Spurs fan. And so I'm
I
gonna hear your
can
opinion,
I
and
can
then
only comment on the first half from what I saw of the first half, because I fell asleep watching the second half. I'm literally sitting here asleep watching the second half. Yeah, I'm old. The first half was I thought the first half was pretty good. I do have a big agenda against Emerson Royale. You know, he must suck really good to keep getting his place in the squad.
Shane, it's not an agenda. It's just having eyes and a brain and seeing Emerson Royale be crap.
It's just, yeah. Hey, Dan, how are you, mate?
Big up. How's it going?
Dan, am I being too sensitive? You know, should I just pop the bottle, drink some champagne? We got the 3 points, or is it just I have a right concern of, okay, why is it never easy for us? You know, they scored a goal with being down a man, nervousness, Kane missing the penalty, and him bad passing to Brian Hill. I mean, what do you think?
I've got a quote Antonio Conte here. One normal day of Tottenham Hotspur. That's all I ask. It will never happen. Like, honestly, this game is like this team. You cannot watch a game. I was sitting here when we went 3-0 up, 3-1 up, sorry, and I put my legs on the table, head back. Oh, now it's time to relax and enjoy the game. 2 minutes later, I'm sitting at the edge of my seat. Like, this club, this team, it's really a roller coaster to support them. But that's kind of why I love them. But there's also a side of it that as Spurs fans, we've also got, I'm certain Emerson money he spent wasn't to a coach or to improve himself, but it was into Conte's tip. That jokes. But no, I've got to say, as some Spurs fans, we need to calm down a bit, because if you actually look at where we are, we're third in the league. We're 4 points off supposedly the best team in the world. We're top of our group, and we've got like 2 games left. So there's a part of me that says we have to calm down. I don't think Conte's tactics are the problem. I think it's just sloppiness. But I gotta say, it's impressive as well. Like, I've coming after a week that it was a very, very tough week for the players after losing the physical coach in Petroni. So that was, and then they put 2 wins together, So you also gotta praise them. At the same time, there's some things in this team that just don't look the same. Harry Kane, I understand that Conte is making him play more up and he's not letting him drop back. At the same time, 51 pass percentage is really, really poor. 51 pass percentage is extremely poor. And I think that he's really, really good at finishing. But the thing is, when all he does is finish, it's a bit frustrating as Spurs fans. Sonny was class. I can already see the Will Stewart title for the stream tonight. Harry Kane flops as Son Heung-min, the greatest football player of all time, strikes again. But it was a win. It was a very, very important win for our Champions League campaign.
You can't
Yeah.
say Sonny wasn't good in the first half. Sonny
No, he was
brilliant in the
world
first
class.
half.
He was really, really good. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm just
That
And
volley
remember-
goal was just incredible.
And by the
Yeah,
way,
man,
Harry Kane, I don't know if you were aiming for the moon or if you're trying to recreate Kepa's penalty, but
Yeah.
I've had a bit of a stinker in my watch along. I was literally I made the score in the bottom 4-2 before he scored, and I was like, oh, I already know he's gonna score. I'm just gonna leave it like that. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just I mean, he scored. He's scoring games, but the first half I thought was his best. That's what makes this game so weird. His first half I thought was the best that he's played. One of the best he's played this season. He hooks up Sonny with a beautiful pass, and Sonny scores. That's why you can't divorce the two, right? You can't divorce Sonny from Kane, right? When they both work in sync, it works best, right?
Yeah.
So people want to be on this camp or that camp. I find it ridiculous because they both need each other. When Kane was injured, we didn't win nothing. We didn't win nothing. We win. We have a great chance winning when they're both on cylinders.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny looks like now he is getting to his elite form. Kane is scoring despite not getting to his elite form because there's still missed passes. There's still, as you know, he missed the penalty.
Yeah.
But the missed pass to Brian Hill.
51 pass percentage is really poor.
Yeah. And so imagine where we'll be if he is playing to his elite status, if he plays better. Then I'm like, whoa, look out. Look out. We're going to go on a run of games where we're going to win. But it hasn't been there yet. And maybe, Kane is a late bloomer because everybody knows Kane doesn't really score a lot of goals at the beginning. Like he has 8 goals in 9 games. Right? Everybody knows he usually August is not a good month or whatsoever. So if he's running all cylinders in December, well, the World Cup. But if he's running all cylinders, as the normal Kane time comes, some great things, can happen. But I just thought the last 15 minutes kind of soured, his great first half. But it's like I said, this game was interesting. It was interesting, and Eric Dyer, I know you missed this. Oh my goodness, this guy, and I'll let you talk. But I think where we get trapped is because Eric Dyer has improved from shit to okay.
A little bit less shit.
That's his ceiling. That's his highest ceiling. And okay, he is still prone for mistakes. And I don't want to go back to the transfer window, but I really felt the club failed Conte by not getting Langley is not a true center back. Getting a true center back to improve in that. That was one of the objectives. And
Mari. I was just going to say, I don't think they failed Conte. Conte was fine with Eric Dyer. I honestly believe that. Because last season, there was even a point.
As a starter or a bench player this year?
As a bench, you need to. Conte wanted him as a starter, in my opinion.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. Because there was literally parts in last season where Conte was saying in press conferences that Eric Dyer can be one of the best world center backs in the world. I think Conte has trust in Eric Dyer.
I think he's being nice. I think he's being real nice. I think he's crossed his finger behind his back and he's saying, Eric Dyer could be one of the best. Everybody in their mama knows Eric Dyer is at best, solid coming from the bench. Right? I mean, solid, I'm being kind here. But I don't know. I just think they failed Conte in not getting that objective of getting a true center back.
I agree with you, Murray. I agree with you.
All right, Will, throw it at us.
Hey, Will, yeah,
We're
got
ready
the
for
shades
it.
on. Hang on.
house. He is shining because, first of all, we won, as I put on the banner, why our wins are never easy. It's just, I can never put my legs up and drink a bottle of champagne with this club. There's a lot of things to talk about. Should have been a second red card. Kane and Son connected in the first half. Both played excellent. First half or Son though throughout the game. Kane the first half. The last 15 minutes was the WTF. Sorry, Dan, I had a curse there. Was WTF. With the bad pass to Hill, I thought it was horrible. Brian Hill was calling for it, and probably could have had a chance to score his first ever goal for us. Goal. And the discouraging thing is, down 10 men, our wins are never. It's like, I'm happy that we won, but it's just like, I'm not overreacting, but it's just like. I was just like, oh, come on, guys, can we never do things easy? Like, am I being unreasonable? Like, come on, guys, why? Well,
yeah,
to you.
My guess is that one of two things happened. Either an alien abducted the real Harry Kane, replaced him with Charlie Kane for the last 10 minutes of that game.
I believe you.
Or
the sun got taken off.
Or Kane really doesn't trust Brian Hill and Mora and just started panicking after they scored. Right? Like, there's nobody here to help me now type of a thing, right? Because everything he did was overdoing it, right? The penalty, the pass to Brian Hill. Brian Hill should have scored earlier. He was one-on-one and fell over himself. People talk about he's dribbling. Literally wide open. Should have been through on goal, no problem.
He just
fell over. Fell over.
Yeah.
Then luckily he fell over for us. He fell over inside the box.
No, that was a trip. That was a trip.
That was a mosquito flip, man.
Come on, Will. That was a penalty.
The dude hung a leg, yes.
Yes.
Right? The dude hung a leg, yes. But it's like he skimmed the side of Ryan Hill's leg and he went down like a sack of bricks.
I'll throw this out.
I just knew this was coming.
I just mentioned this to Dan. I said the good thing is being third and leading is just that now we're seeing the elite best level of Son. We have not seen the best of Kane and scoring goals. So
he's scoring pens and headers from inside the 6-yard box.
So
it's true. I'm not making it up.
We can be even better when both of them are in that. And, Kane usually he's not a great August, September. So can we be encouraged that we are going to be even better, say after World Cup or right before World Cup? Because we have not seen the best of Kane. Because I've been very harsh and objective. I said I still have not seen the best of Kane, and now I feel that okay, at least Sonny is he's back. So am I right there? Am I wrong there? I
don't see. This is the thing that bothers me a little bit. Is back. Where did he get? He didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, he did.
Right? The same type of performance he had against Brighton on the weekend. That people said he was horrible.
No,
only difference between that game and this game is he didn't score that game. That's it. Only difference.
Yeah, but
in comparison, not the last couple of games, but in comparison,
there was 2 games.
The beginning, and
he played against Chelsea. There was a couple of games this season where he's had bad performance. No, Southampton, he was good.
We're not going to get into this again.
Yeah, it doesn't look. I'm getting bored with literally the facts deniers. It literally makes you like the flat earthers of the footballing community. It's really poor, right? When you deny actual facts, right? Like the world is round.
Well, the world isn't flat.
It's not
exactly.
flat.
That's my point. The world isn't flat, and Son Heung-min hasn't been poor all season, right? I've literally heard people say that his overall game today was poor. I've literally heard that already.
That's not true.
I've heard it already. I've cooked it already. People are literally now the flat earthers of football. I'm serious. This whole Son thing has gone way out of hand. Way out of hand.
Don't bring up that last. No, but I think that the thing with Harry Kane in his style is that if you actually look at Lukaku when he played in Inter Milan with Conte, when he was at like the whole season he wasn't even that good, but he scored goals. So I think that, but I think we'll see this season like not too much from Kane, but he'll score goals for sure.
It's true, Bryce. But no, it's like, I made a comment too that the game got out of control once we started taking off when Son came off. I don't think people realize how much defensive work Son did today, right? Ground duels, 12 out of 7, right?
He was hustling. There was one ball that went out of bounds, and he was like running like his life depended on it. And I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm like, that's it. Like he looked like, you can see his face. He looked determined today. And to be fair, him, Kane, Højbjerg, which, well, I'm not the biggest Højbjerg fan, but I had to be fair. I said he was our player of the first quarter of the season. That beautiful pass he did for how many? I know he has about maybe 6 or 7 goals to assist contributions of Højbjerg this year. I gotta. He's not spectacular, but people unfairly said he's shit. We know who says that. Yeah, I think he's been solid for us. Like I said, I'm not gonna hate on Højbjerg.
Højbjerg has been good this season too, right? This whole agenda against Højbjerg for me boggles my mind as well. Like I don't understand this agenda with Højbjerg, right? Like, is he a glitz and glamour player? Is he a quality footballer that makes you excited? No, but when you want to talk about being effective, an effective player who gets a job done, he's the best in the midfield right now. Like it or not, he's not my favorite player either. I don't get pleasure out of watching necessarily Pierre-Emile Højbjerg play or whatever his name is. It's 8 a.m. But he's doing a job and he's getting it done, and when you can't complain with that. If you do, you're just a flat earth footballer.
Yeah. I'd agree with you, Will.
Him and Betico have been better these last couple of games. They're not like spectacular, but they're solid.
Højbjerg's passing is underrated, man. Højbjerg's passing ability is actually so underrated. I'd say the most underrated in England, arguably maybe even in Europe. Like nobody actually talks about his passing, and it's not like it's just been this season. Last season he did this pass as well, but nobody acknowledges it. That people need to be giving him more credit, and it's not only.
He had more progressive passes than any other defensive midfielder in the top 6 last season, right? So
yeah, like his passes are actually really good. But what I will disagree with you, Will, is that I think Bentancur is a better player, and he's been better for us.
Look, I think Bentancur's a better footballer.
Yeah, but I think he's also been better for us.
I don't think he's performed better than
Scott.
This is what I'm talking about, right? Like people, look, people think it's just Son that I stick off to. It's not. It's not. The only reason, the things that bother me, it's not a fact, Scott. It's not. It's your opinion. It's literally not facts. Because the facts are, right, that he was the best out of the midfielders today. That's a fact. The fact is he's been the best out of the midfielders this season. That's a fact. Right? The fact is he's had the second best performances behind Harry Kane all season long. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's just
it's a fact that Harry Kane kicked a penalty kick into the top row. That's a fact of the South Stand. That's a fact.
Well, Pluto's not playing anymore. So, yeah, it's somewhere orbiting next to Suzuku's.
What's the title? What's the title for the stream going to be tonight, Will?
I don't know.
Harry Kane flops and Son Heung-min strikes and shushes all his haters.
Scott,
they're not straight up lies. Unfortunately, they're not.
They're not.
Scott,
Scott, come on,
They're the
Hoiberg's really, really good, and even like
I think I'm gonna do
stats are.
No, tonight's show, I think I'm going to start it out with like maybe a 10 to 15 minute, just me and the people speech where we go over the statistics for all of our players for the first, 13 games of the season, and get the facts out there for everybody to see on all of our players.
I know you're real good at this because I got to do something. I want to say Hoiberg out the midfield, other than Kevin De Bruyne, his goal to assist contributions, it's up there. I want to say maybe top 5, because he comes up with assists, he comes up with a goal. I think he's having a good year, goals to assist ratio, and that's one of the reasons why I'm like, I can't be hard on the guy anymore. I mean, yeah, he's not my cup of tea, but he's getting. I can't deny the facts, the stats. I can't deny, what he's doing. I mean, it's just.
Well, it's not so much the assists, but in shot creating actions. Right, so passes that lead to a shot. He's pretty good, but where he really excels is in his pass completion rate. Right now, granted, a lot of his passes are sideways and backwards, but 93 percentile. That means only 7% of footballers in the world are better than him at completing passes in his position. So I mean, you can't really moan about it as far as that's concerned. He could be a lot worse. He leads the team out of the midfielders. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break down the midfielders that have started, bring up Basuma, Bentancur, Højbjerg. Then look at our defenders, Davies, Langley, Dyer, Romero. Look at our forwards, the 4 of them. And just kind of just compare each other over this season's numbers, and just get a little bit of the facts out there and dispel some of these myths, man. Because like even today, like people are gonna say that Son lost the ball a lot. No, he didn't. He lost the ball as amount of times as he always does, right? 14, same amount as Harry Kane, right? This is what I understand. People don't understand that they literally record these things. Like there's literally a missed touch. Like so if the ball comes into you and you miss it, there's literally a stat for that, right? If you get dispossessed, there's literally a stat for that. If you receive the pass, there's literally a stat for that.
Yeah, he's definitely the man of the match.
Definitely.
Not Session, which I still can't believe that. But no, he's definitely the man of the match. He had the intensity. He had his game face on. He knew that we need to win the game until he got finally taken out, which we thought the game was wrapped up. And so I think that's the discouraging part for me is just that, they're down the man. How do we let them, cut it down to 1, and where we're panicking and yeah, Ken usually drills that. We don't ever think he's got panic, but maybe he is panicking. Oh shit, we got Lucas and Hill here, and it's like I'm just like, get this penalty, and this guy's, and then that pass to Brian Hill. I honestly thought he was going to score, but all right, lay it up for him. But Brian Hill is not Michael Air Jordan. There's no way he's going to score that goal from the air. Absolutely no way. And so I think that's where I'm discouraged. I'm happy with the 3 points. We move it along. Kulu's coming back, but
I was actually quite impressed with Bentancur today. He was the one starting our press. He was the one getting up there and getting into people's faces, and some of his passing was nice and clean and crisp, and
An assist.
Yeah. You know,
You know,
you know,
I,
deep in my heart, I want to. I want every player that walks in to succeed, but you cannot deny. My goodness, it's when he fell over, and there was a sequence where he fell over and he got back up. I think that was for the penalty, and they gifted him. And of course, he gets in the box and stuff.
Penalties
This
won too.
Yeah, this may have been maybe his last chance to play in the Champions League. Now that Lucas is back, Kulu to be back. Probably the next time you see Brian Hill is either maybe in a blowout win or definitely the Carabao Cup.
I just want to let you guys know, right? That Brian Hill touched the ball 7 times and he lost it 4.
And he created 1 penalty.
I would have thought he lost it 7 times. The 7 times he got.
No. But we're like gazing over Emerson Royale.
He was bad
I
today, too.
wanted to talk about that. Oh,
Is that a
my
surprise,
God.
though?
No,
Is it a
it's not.
surprise now at
The
this
thing
point?
that pisses me off, why is he starting? Come on. Like, I love you, Conte, and your tactics I would never doubt, like, because they're world-class tactics. You're world-class manager. I'm confident that we're going to do some great stuff under him. But why are you so stubborn and you continue to play Emerson? Like, the guy is terrible. You made a whole tab for him. Label for him, but the guy like can't control football. You've paid $1 million to become a better footballer, and that kind of is a positive because it shows that he actually cares, and he's not like another guy that sits in his car for 15 hours on Instagram Live, staring at the screen with music in the background, not saying a single word. But Emerson, like this guy, it's like he's waited to become a professional footballer to actually worry about his ability at being a professional footballer. I don't know how this guy's become how has he played for Barcelona? How has he played for Tottenham Hotspur? I can't like make a reason for it.
but
like,
he didn't play for Barcelona. He
Yeah,
was
they saw his.
contracted. They
Yeah.
signed him and loaned him out. He actually didn't play for Barcelona, did he?
They signed him for 1 minute. They saw his crossing, and it's like, mate, we gotta get rid of this chap.
He's just a terrible footballer. He just offers nothing.
And for
And-
the people
and
saying that
people
he's
say-
decent defensively, he's
He's
not.
not.
He's better defensively, but he's still like not good enough as a defensive right wing back. It's poor, man. It's honestly poor.
I think the problem is, I said this earlier, Emerson is where dreams die. Basically, our counter attack, our progressive attack die with him. And, you question it, man, Matt Doherty, who had a decent game, was there, will there be effective, passes into the box? My only thing is maybe Conte keeps him because Emerson's faster than Doherty. He is. And that's what, Emerson Rio has the position that every wingback would want. I'm watching the game today. But for me, I can't speak for the rest of you. I'm like, nothing's gonna happen here. Nothing's gonna happen here because he can't connect. Literally, he cannot connect. And so I guess Conte is believing that one of these days it's gonna finally click because he is in the. To be fair, he is in those positions. It's just that it's just dog shit when he gets there, and it's just kind of like, okay, maybe he's finally going to. It's gonna come through. Whereas with Daugherty, he's slower, especially coming from that injury. But the game against Brighton, he was decent.
That's like going to the supermarket and forgetting your wallet.
Yeah, you're right. And so
I was going to say, you can't polish a dog turd.
You can dry it out though, so it doesn't stink anymore.
Yeah, and you can throw glitter on it and make it all sparkly, but still
Spray paint it gold as well.
Yeah, still it doesn't. It's
Still
still
a
dog
turd.
shit.
Yeah, when you step on it, it still stinks.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier, Will, and I know you mentioned this in the chat, but I don't know if people have noticed, but I know people like to talk about Sonny's touch. And I know they mentioned King's touch, but Rick Carlson, his touch has been horrible these
Bro,
games.
what?
Yeah,
Look, I
his
just don't.
has
Look, I don't.
been horrible. Like
He was good
like
today. He was good. Like
look, that one time
What?
he
when
was
he got
really good today. No, come on. Don't put
Richarlison
your
was
he
good
wasn't.
today.
Don't put your
one,
Richarlison agenda in here.
He
he
wasn't.
hooked up Session
Nah,
that
he was
one
good.
time he fought, but other than that, his touch is horrible.
I
It's
would even
alarming.
say
And I'll throw the will, but it's not being out of position as the excuse for his touch being horrible. Because people's like, well, if he's not playing in the middle, no. His touch is horrible for
I mean,
any position you can be. It has to be better. He lost the ball, and the defender wasn't even close to him on a counter chance. And I'm just like, man, your touch is horrible. Please, Kulu, come back. I throw the will. Rick Carlson.
Go to me. Look, man. I don't want to crap on players anymore. I just don't want to ever hear Richarlison's name mentioned alongside Son Heung-min again. No one should ever compare them ever again, right? If you compare those two players, you literally are the Tiger King or the Flat Earther or even the Liver King of football punditry. Just absurd. The Donald Trump of football punditry. Whatever thing that you think is absolutely ridiculous, that's what that is when you compare those two players, because they're not even close.
I've got to say, like, when people were comparing them, Will, nobody was comparing them in general, like they're playing, like their career.
Yeah, saying that Son should be sat so Richarlison can play is dumb.
No, it isn't, because at
It's
that
dumb.
point in time, it was actually
It was
right
dumb
thing to
then
do.
too, and it's dumb now.
No.
It literally is.
It was the right thing to do. It was
No,
the
it
right
wasn't
thing
the right
to do.
thing
Will.
to do.
Richarlison was playing better than Son.
No, it's never the. It's that. Would you bench Trent Alexander-Arnold to play Emerson?
If Emerson was playing good, yes.
No, that's dumb.
That's
dumb.
That is not dumb, because
It is dumb.
But Emerson is not playing good.
You
That
don't
is not a
play
correct
Emerson.
example.
Even if Trent Alexander-Arnold's in the form that he's in right now, you do not bench him to play Emerson Royale. That's
if
dumb.
he's in good form, but Richarlison was playing good. That's the thing.
No,
they
he
don't-
wasn't playing good.
He was. The
He
thing
wasn't.
Is that, yes,
How
he
can he
was.
be-
He
He's
was
had one
creating
good
more-
game. Fulham.
He was
and
creating
one good
more
game
of
in
a
the Champions
small.
with Marseille.
He was
He
having
wasn't
more of an
creating
impact in
anything.
the game than in those like 15 minutes that he was
not
playing
true.
than Son in the whole 90 that he was
Not
playing.
true.
Not
100% true. It's not. It's
Not
not
true.
only it's a fact.
It's not a fact.
It's
It's
a fact.
literally not a fact.
It's a fact.
It's literally not a fact, because he not only did not have a shot creating action or goal creating action until the Fulham game, right? He didn't do anything
Before
but-
Son.
I got a phone call from work. I'll be right back.
I've got to disagree. Like literally, the guy was playing 15 minutes a game and got a goal contribution before Son Heung-min. Like,
No.
yeah, he did. No.
Richarlison's
he did.
Richarlison's he's a good bench player. He's not a starter. You know, he'll never be good enough.
I think he is, man. Like, but the thing is, when Son is off form, that is literally why we've signed Richarlison. We've got a player in there to replace him with. Before we didn't. So now we have that player in there to replace him in. Son is playing terrible. Richarlison is playing amazing. Why is not?
I still wouldn't bench Son.
I would. And you look at the result of him benching him. Look at the result.
What result is that?
A kick in the ass to Son, and now he's back.
No, he would have been back anyway.
We wouldn't have Will. Like, you know the whole stats, like you love stats and everything.
Yeah, and the stats show that.
There was a million games. I can't tell you the exact number that Son started. Son started. So the one game that Son doesn't start, he comes off the bench, he scores a hat trick in 18 minutes. Surely there's a stat out there, and surely you look at a pattern there that tells you if he would have started that same game against Leicester, he wouldn't have scored.
Why? No, there's no stat that says that.
No,
How
there's
can a
pattern.
stat tell you a counterfactual?
No, there's a pattern that it could make
Yeah, the
you.
pattern is that Son, after he goes maybe 3 or 4 or 5 games of not scoring, he comes back and scores 5 or 6 goals within 2 to 3 game period, which is exactly what he's done.
Like
right.
but I'm saying a pattern.
That pattern has nothing to do with him being sat. That pattern has to do with him as a player.
Personally,
period.
I do. Personally, I do.
Right. Remember
If you
last
see-
February and March when you said he was dog crap too, right? He came back and he scored
But he
13 goals in 10 games. Right after
But
that
we know
same
that
period.
Son. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that we know the Son, right? Because no player scores every single week. It just doesn't happen. Even Erling Haaland hasn't scored every week, right? Doesn't happen. Even Harry Kane right now, who's been great, hasn't scored in every single game, right? Scored 9 and 13. So if you go anytime Son goes 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, even say his longest period ever in his career, which was about a 10-game goal drought, right? It's usually followed by a burst of quality because once he gets a goal under his belt, he gains confidence and he becomes unplayable, right? So anytime you see Son in a slump, a goal slump, as you would, you should be thankful for the slump because that means he's going to come back and start burying him because he always does. That's the trend. It has nothing to do with him sitting on the bench.
But I think it did motivate him to come on.
I think him not scoring motivated him to come on and score.
Yeah, but for him to be benched, that was like Conte telling him, all right, we're not going to allow this to continue, son. If you don't pick up your form, Richarlison's going to take your spot because he's been playing better than you.
He hadn't, though.
He had more goal contributions.
He
was
hadn't.
playing better in general. No,
He's got no goal contributions in the league. What are you talking about?
Richarlison.
He has an assist and a penalty one. That's it.
A goal contribution.
Okay, so 1 goal contribution.
Oh, I thought you said no goal contribution. Sorry.
In the league. Son had already had 1 goal contribution from the first game of the season.
But you're
So he didn't have. Hold on.
You're
He did it.
Champions League game.
Champions League and League are 2 completely different competitions.
You're just gonna completely outlook it, not look at it.
Yeah,
at all.
Harry Kane has 1 goal in the Champions League and he has 8 in the league. Right?
But he's only played.
So what's he playing better? Is he playing better in the league or is he playing better in the Champions League? Because they're 2 different leagues, right?
You gotta take both into account. That's what I'm saying. You can't just at that time there would have been 1 Champions League game. He scored 2 goals against Marseille. He had been playing really well for the 15 minutes that he's been brought on every single game. That was the only start he had, if I'm not mistaken.
What is really well?
He scores 2 goals. Really well is making an impact in the game.
Impact how? What is an impact?
You're not gonna like this with the energy. No, I'm just joking. But like you could see
energy.
it.
That's flat Earth talk.
No, I was joking. I was joking. But like he would get the ball and he would take on
and
a man.
lose it. Get the ball, take on a man, and lose it. He does that still. He did that today about 5 times.
Yeah, and it was
That's not energy. That's not contributing to the team. Taking on a man, losing the ball is not contributing to the team. It's not.
It is.
It's not. It's literally called a loss of possession. It's not contributing to the team.
Loads and loads of chances.
He was creating turnovers.
Let me throw out this question.
Come on.
Let me throw out this question. And I saw this somewhere. At this point right now, and of course, hindsight is 2020, but if you had to do it all over again, would you get Gabriel Jesus or Richarlison? The 2 Brazilians.
Either one. Look, I don't dislike Richarlison, right?
No.
I don't have a problem with Richarlison, but anybody who says that there's a comparison to be made or that he deserves to start ahead of Son Heung-min is dumb. I'm not being nice anymore. I'm not holding punches back anymore. If you think that, you're dumb. You're literally in self-delusion, cognitive dissonance.
I have a question. Everton is still, in my book, one of the worst teams still in the Premier League, right?
They picked up form.
We have a point game against Sporting at home, right? If with Carlson, right, his best spot is in the middle in that striker. Is Saturday a game that, you know what, let's get some legs on Kane and rest him and
What about
start
Chad?
with Carlson. Yeah, especially if Kulu's coming back. Start with Carlson. If they do 3-4-3, or even if the 3-5-2, maybe with Carlson or Sonny, and maybe have Kane come, rotate from the bench. I mean, would that be the perfect time? I've been saying it weeks ago. Would Saturday's game against Everton be the perfect time to do it? Yes, no.
Yeah, I think it would. It would
Well,
make a
This
lot of sense.
Saturday against Everton.
It would make a lot of sense to do that actually. But the other thing is that you could also get well, you could also maybe no, never mind. Because what I was gonna say is Kulusevski's back, so he's probably gonna get a start. So probably our front three could be Son, Richarlison, and Kulusevski.
would you do that, Will, for this game against Everton?
No, I wouldn't. I don't start average players over our best players. Average players can come off the bench and fill
Needs
in
to
for our good players. That's look for me. Son can't start. They always start. Every week they start. And when they get tired or after about 55 minutes, 65 minutes, 70 minutes, and they need a break, then you can bring on Richarlison. And that's where he gets to play. Because that's his level. He's a sub.
Okay.
In the top six, he's a sub. Maybe at Everton, he's a starter. Right? In the top for a top six club, he's a sub. Right? A good sub. Right? He's a good sub. But when you try to make a sub, right? It's like what happens when you try to make a whole housewife. Right? It doesn't work.
He brought that up. And that is true. You definitely cannot make, close your ears, Dad, a hoe into a housewife. That's true from the streets. Moment there. But no, I would throw it out there because it's also who would better know Everton than Richie. No, I mean bring a point. I guess the fear is, well, if you worry that you're gonna run Kane and Son to the ground, then the thing is, then when would you? I guess what, the Carabao Cup, is the Carabao Cup coming up?
Yeah. Carabao Cup.
The problem with like what you say, Will, is Son and Kane are not going to sit there and go, "Oh yeah, Conte, I'm tired, I need a rest." They're going to want to like continue playing. So I don't know. I think that some games, because then you have like Harry Kane getting all those injuries. You've got
So then when Harry Kane's injured, he comes in and he plays because you have to play him, right? That's the difference. If he's a good sub, right? Which I think he is. I think he's a good sub. When your star player or your starter gets injured, then he can come in and he can fill in a shift for a couple of weeks, right? Because he's a good substitute, right? There's a difference between being a bad substitute or an average substitute like Lucas Moura or Brian Hill, right? Average being Moura, Brian Hill being bad. Right, the level of quality drops, but it doesn't drop significantly enough that it makes you necessarily overly nervous or anxious. Yeah, it may hurt you, but it's not going to impact you to the extent, right? It's the same thing with City, right? If Holland gets injured, they've got, what that young kid Alvarez or whatever his name is,
Julian Alvarez,
and he's good, but he's not as good as Holland, right? So yeah, you see a drop in quality, but he's a competent substitute, and that's what I think Richarlison is. But it's when we try to make a competent substitute a starter for a top six side just because he costs 60 million, which is what substitutes cost for top six sides, by the way. If you want quality ones, it's silly. It's absolutely silly. It's too reactionary. We have a problem at Tottenham Hotspur where we make people like Brian Hill and Emerson Royale and Richarlison these world-class players that they're not. They need to just play in their vein, right? Brian Hill needs to be playing in the Championship, right? Emerson Royale needs to be playing in like League 2. And Richarlison is a substitute for a top six side. It's just the way that it is.
Yeah.
but I've got to go, lads. Big up. Will,
Yeah.
big up, Shane.
Yeah.
Big up, Mari.
Yeah,
You're gonna be on the Friday show.
Probably.
Okay. All right. So yeah, if you guys can subscribe to Dan THFC, he's also appears on the Friday Tottenham Away show, which is Friday Night Live. You can check him out. If you could just type in your score prediction for the Everton game, because we're gonna do that last before we sign off. That would be awesome.
Do I type it in or do I say it?
Oh, you can say it.
Oh, okay. So I think that will win 3-1 against Everton. Actually, I might even change that because they've been really, really solid defensively. Maybe even like 1-0 or 2-0. But I think Everton have shown that they've been really, really good this season. Frank Lampard, he's made a comeback with Everton, so they've been a little bit more impressive than last season. But I think they'll be a challenge, and I think that we can take them on. I think there will be some players rested, and it will be nice to see football without Emerson Royale again.
That is true. That is true.
Big up, lads. See you on the next one. Come on, you
See you,
Spurs,
Dan.
and get Harry Kane off free kicks.
Agreed. Fellas, what do you guys see for the Everton game? I still think Everton is a long ways to being good. They're not in the bottom, but is this a game where I put down our wins are never easy, but is this a game where we drill them? Maybe 3-0, 3-1, 4-1.
Everton 3-0 is what I had for Everton, but
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that.
I think it'll a little bit tighter. I think 2-0.
So no. Yeah. And is it
I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think we'll revert back to a 3-5-2, or a 5-3-2. I think that he'll definitely rest either Kane or Son. I think with Kulu not back yet, that he'll definitely rest Kane or Son and put an extra warm body in midfield, whether it's Basuma or Skip. It'll be interesting to see the tactics, actually. As you said, I think Everton are a bit shit at the moment, so they're playing better, but yeah, I can't see us not winning the match.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm very confident that we should be able to win this game, and this game is at home, right? Am I right?
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think usually Sonny and Kane terrorize Everton, so I expect the same. We expect the same, and from what I'm seeing from Sonny now, I think he scores a brace out of the 3-0. I think he scores a brace. Kulu, I think maybe he plays or he's named. Maybe he's on the bench. But I'm reading, he practiced today. He looks like, they had about 5% risk. Should be at 0 for Saturday. So, yeah, I'm predicting 3-0.
Yeah, me too. 3-0 for that one.
Yeah, and that would definitely keep us up. And I will say this, and I could be wrong, but I think they're playing Nottingham Forest, Arsenal. No, they're playing Leeds. I think this is a trap game. They're on the road. I think
At
it's a trap
Leeds.
game for them at Leeds. I think it's a trap game. I think they're going to drop points. I'm not saying, well, of course I want them to drop points. I'm saying that they've been on a high. This is a perfect time for a trap game to knock them off their pedestal. I think we get closer to Arsenal because I think they're going to drop points at Leeds. I think it's going to be very open, and I think Saliba is going to be doing 360s. And I think Leeds is going to come good. Marsh has his team. Always dangerous. So I'm also predicting that they're going to drop points.
Who's City got this weekend?
It
doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, they're playing.
I wouldn't be betting against City.
Liverpool. They play Liverpool. Oh wow!
Who do we have midweek? Is it Sporting at home or is it Marseille?
Home, yeah, Sporting at
Sporting.
home.
Yeah,
So we gotta get 3 points there. If we get 3 points there, the group's ours. So
it's done. I do not want to go to Marseille needing that game. That place is a madhouse. I was watching an old remake of a year ago, PSG Marseille. Their fans come with the flares. They're throwing bottles. Actually, they do some stuff at Sunday, the Frankfurt fans. I don't think it got racial, but they were throwing stuff.
They get racial.
The
ultras are ultra.
I don't know if you saw that well, but they threw some stuff on the corner when stuff was there. If you think that, wait till you go to Marseille. It's going to be a madhouse. I want to have things locked up before we go to Marseille. It's crazy. It's make fun of the French league, but winning at their building is never easy. It's a madhouse, especially at Marseille at the Velodrome, whatever they call it, that place.
Velodrome.
I just got a little disappointed with and I'm gonna catch heat for this, but I don't care. I got a little disappointed with our home fans today because all I could hear all game was the Frankfurt fans screaming the entire match.
Those fans are notorious.
And then them jumping up and down at the end wave. It kind of gave you like a vertigo type of a feeling. I don't ever see the stadium rock like that for us. But like after a goal or something, it does. But I'm talking about like,
I would agree with you. I mean, I watch a lot of Bundesliga's game. You look at Dortmund and those banners of wow. It's just I don't know if it's
banners are banned. I think for us. But.
Yeah, but no, I get what you're saying because they're wild, but it's uniform wild, and you see them jumping up. Frankfurt, they travel well.
You're not even allowed to stand up. I think in the Premier League, but
yeah. They travel well.
They have safe standing zones.
Well,
so
no, I'm about
now they do.
Zones you can only stand up in the safe standing zones.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to sign off. So tell everybody here. I know everybody's gonna probably go onto your show tonight. I'm gonna hopefully get back home to jump on the show because I definitely want to see what you come up with the performances like midfield and stuff like that. Because like I said, I've been saying it. Hoiberg, I gotta give him his props this year. But yeah, where can I know Shane? We find you on Will's show. Will, what time's the show starting tonight?
I think right now I've got it scheduled for 9:15. I do have to come home from training, so keep an eye out for that. So it may change between 9:15 and 9:30.
That'll be 2:30 UK time.
Yeah.
Those will UK, yeah.
2:30 in the morning UK time, 2:15. So around that time. And yeah, I think right now the title of the stream is "Fly Me to the Moon." Sun with a brace. Tottenham 3. Stuff. So.
Is Kane's ball still orbiting the moon right now? Next to Sissoko's.
Fly Me. Isn't that the song that they played in the stadium? Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly Me to the Moon.
But Yeah, we'll be doing that show. I'm gonna start the show off, and I think I'm just gonna have some stats prepared or whatever to just kind of go over everybody for the season. Just because, look, man, I'm really bored. Like I thought after Sun got the Golden Boot that I wouldn't have to do this season. What I had to do last season, this season, it's getting boring, man. It's getting boring. I don't understand why a guy who literally just had the best season he's ever had in a Spurs shirt can't have a little bit of trust to work himself out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Before people start saying that he's horrible. Like literally, I've heard already clipped people today who have said that his overall play today was poor, except for his goals.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody else because I went straight to here, so that's shocking. That is shocking. Because he's the man of the match. I mean, I didn't see the post-game show. I would assume he was the man of the match. Like, he's my man.
Yeah,
of
he's
the match.
man of the match.
That's dumbfounded. That's shocking. Yeah. I mean, the only person that was close, like after the first half, I was like, okay, King got assist. You got the goal that put the lead, okay, between Kane and Son. But the final seconds, click, 0-0. I mean, blow the whistle. It was Son. It was Son. It was almost like a Jekyll, Mr. Hyde game for Kane. But for solid from first minute till he got off, yeah, Son is the man of the match. Son, you have to kind of put Kane despite those 15 minutes, and Højbjerg. I mean, Højbjerg has to, be up there. And then Bentancur gets mentioned, but
I'm just letting people know, if you're gonna sit there all season and just wait to jump on every time the Sun does something wrong, right? You're gonna end up losing more times than you win on this one. I'm just telling you guys right now, right? If you're gonna sit there and take your notes to get a shot crack off at me, even right on Twitter, on YouTube streams, or whoever you are out there, right? You're gonna lose more time than you win. So why even try? Right? Just say, hey, Son could have done better today, and then there's no conversation to be had. Right? We don't need to start talking about players are shit, garbage, horrendous, sell them, dog shit.
Other than Emerson Royale.
I mean, the players that are actually that have at it. I'll do it with you, right? I'm talking about the players that aren't.
Yeah.
You know?
You can't put, like I said, you can't put Emerson and Højbjerg on the same level of shit. That does not make any sense. Because then Emerson, if you want to use shit, right?
Exactly. You're saying Son's equal to Emerson. You can't do that.
So you have to create a new word that's worse than shit.
100%. You're 100% right, Mark.
Yeah. And so that's why I kind of disagree with my brother Scott there when he calls him a shitbird. I'm like, well, he got goal to assist contributions. I'm gonna look it up. But where Emerson, so you can't. It's not even fair.
You call Emerson dog shit, and then maybe you can call Højbjerg puppy shit, right? Puppy shit's cuter.
Yeah. I mean,
they still stink. One comes out the butthole of a cute animal, and the other one maybe not so cute.
Okay, I've actually got to sign off.
We're gonna sign off.
Yeah. Guys,
thanks for watching. You'll probably see me in a couple hours as soon as I get home on Will's show, which will be 9:15, 9:30ish, American time, Canadian time, and 2:30 UK time. And we got the victory. We got 3 points. We're top of the table. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah.